through, fumbling through, fumbling through, fumbling through, fumbling through. Hold up, hellions of wonder, and welcome to Fumble Through.
Fumble Through!
A podcast brought to this world in a spaceship from a different land and still doesn't understand human interaction. What a day we have here in the Fumble Factory. As I look around the table at my fellow players, I see joy and excitement in their little fresh faces. Looks I hope to dash as quickly as possible when I feel the need to bathe in human tears. Speaking of people who need to bathe,
He was looking at me, but I think he's talking about you, Lindsay.
Fine, I figured, but he was looking at you, so I thought I'd play along.
are you
I thought it might
making
be
fun of my wonky eye?
Well, no, I thought it might have been like another thing I wasn't aware of, like
The correct
Brett's
grammar
taking-
is a wonky me.
I just happened to look in that direction.
you know, Brett randomly became DM for a bit. I thought when you looked at him, maybe Brett was randomly taking over my role as well.
Who knows, right? Anything
Who
can
knows
happen.
what's happening here?
Anyway, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. There's a Facebook group.
So buy me a coffee.
I've got a great TikTok idea I need to talk to Luke about, so hopefully that will be going up soon.
No?
Is that the sound of TikTok?
Yeah.
Let's give me a beat, Luke.
Is that just Luke's TikTok idea?
right, yep.
Just Luke walking around. D&D. Pathfinder.
I think that'd play.
You reckon?
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. It probably
I
would.
think it would play.
I know, we need to talk to our children because they understand TikTok and
No.
we do not.
I don't want to talk to my children.
I understand TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
That's what sound o'clock makes.
I've deleted the app again. It's just a bottomless pit for me. I just can't get out of it. Yeah, so I've had to delete it again.
Oh, well, then who's going to run our TikTok?
Your wife made you delete it, didn't
No,
she?
yeah. No, not this time. First time there was a conversation and it went, and then I brought it back and I was like, I'm so good. I've got it under control. I
I just
I
need
didn't have it
one
under
more.
control and it went. Yeah.
I just need one more.
Yeah.
One more.
Just another hour.
Just an hour of flicking through people doing inane shit.
You can get that kind of inane shit on Facebook now. 3 hours last night.
Yeah.
But not on the Fumble Through role-playing guild. That is all solid gold.
Peng.
What?
Peng.
What's ping?
Peng. Like really good.
What?
What? Don't go to your phone. Explain it to
I'll
us.
look the
Don't show us
proper
a
definition
TikTok.
of-
The
Oxford Dictionary describes ping
I thought he was going to be like, this is a great pang.
Very appealing, attractive, or impressive, used as a general term of approval.
Yeah, but
On TikTok.
She looks ridiculously peng is the example.
so is it a slang thing from your homeland or is it like a TikTok
I
thing that
think
we
it's been
don't
around
know?
for quite a while. I don't think it's a new thing.
Never heard of pang before.
No? Well, there you
No.
go, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome.
Takes a whole new approach to the comic Pengu.
So it is that time again for you, the people out there, to pull up a chair at the game table and look at us in perplexed bewilderment as we ask another dicey question. This week, as we head into the second month of the year, we see the abandonment of those New Year's resolutions we made when we were here and happier and on holidays all those weeks ago. In the same theme, this week's dicey question is, what is a series, book, TV show, something like that you started and mean to finish, but now it's been too long?
Okay.
Yep.
Game of Thrones.
You've never finished Game of Thrones?
The TV show, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the books?
No, I've never read those.
Because I haven't finished. I don't think it's published the
That's
last
a
one.
trick question. You know, I watched up to season 5, and then I saw a few bits on YouTube from season 6, and everyone complained so badly about it. I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time.
Wow. I really enjoyed it. I actually thought the last season had some of my favorite episodes
Really?
in them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Controversially, one of the ones everyone said was too dark. Love that episode.
So you didn't see anything, right?
Yeah.
So I have a few of them, but I'm actually in the process of trying to get through them again. Lord of the Rings being my main one, the books.
The books.
This is a common
I was going to say.
I've literally just found on Spotify audio book of Lord of the Rings
Okay.
where it's got a whole heap of different voice actors doing all the voices for it and music from the movie and
Wow.
sound effects.
So
and-
you can abandon Tom Bombadil doing poetry in a whole different voice.
Yep.
Ooh.
So I'm going to try and do Lord of the Rings on an audiobook instead of trying to read through it because I've failed that book like 4 times.
What happens if you find that you just get to the same point and the same thing happens?
Well, it's a good thing about audiobook. I can just chuck it on while I'm like mowing the lawn
Mhm.
and I'm still getting something done.
Okay, fair enough. So you can just divert your attention to something more interesting at that point. What about you, Brett? You got anything?
I'm at 4 on my list of things that I've not completed. Iron Fist, never finished that series,
Yep.
which meant I couldn't get through Jessica Jones.
Okay.
Which meant I couldn't get through Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a whole heap of flow on because Iron Fist was a whole, and I didn't do Luke Cage.
Iron Fist was a whole.
Yeah, right. So there's that. Wheel of Time, I started to listen to an audiobook and then the TV show came out. I'm never going back to the books. What the fuck?
Should go back to the books.
Should I?
Yeah.
But that takes
they're
so
really good.
long.
I think I
are
probably will,
amazing.
actually. I think I will. Once
They
I've
are
done the
amazing.
TV show, I might get to the
I
books.
think that's given the abandoned. I always wanted to get back into the second series of Battlestar Galactica.
Mm-hmm.
Never going to do
As
it.
in the new Battlestar Galactica.
The new version. I never watched it.
You
Thought-
never watched it?
No.
No.
Really?
No, thought, that'd be good. Save that for later. It's too late.
Battlestar Galactica is on my abandoned list, but I have no intention of going back.
you
After
know
the
what?
Pegasus, it's not worth it.
I think actually, even now, going back to it, looks a little dated.
What, the new one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it looks a smidge dated.
Okay.
You know what I've never finished, but I always love early on? Stargate.
Mate, that is amazing. You on about SG-1 or Atlantis or...
The movie, just the original movie.
Well, the original
I watched
movie
the
sucks
I assume it's
balls.
SG-1, but like it goes for like 13 seasons.
Yeah, it's
or something.
crazy long time.
Yeah.
There's some... some gold.
But yeah, I've watched heaps of it.
Yeah.
And then I just lose my spot and I'm like, where the fuck was I up to? And who the hell is this guy? Why are they referring as if they've met each other, even though that was like 8 seasons ago and I can't remember anything? It's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard when you take such a long break. Sometimes, like I did this recently with The Walking Dead. I've read the comic books, but I tried to watch the TV show and I stalled at the TV show twice watching it by myself at the prison. And then recently I've gotten into it again with other members of my family, but I had to start it from the beginning. It's almost like you going back to Game of Thrones now. You would almost have to go back to the beginning to refresh your memory. Like it's been that long. Like I'm the same. There's a TV show called The Magicians, which I hold dearly. I actually really, really enjoy The Magicians. Haven't watched the last season of The Magicians. I'm not sure if there's one after that, but got all the way there, waited for the next season. Something happened. Now it's been so long that I'm like, I might have to go back and watch, even if it's half the season beforehand, just to refresh my memory of what's happening from that. Because I clearly remember the book and the first couple of seasons, but
I'm doing that with Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson, keeping with my themes. Latest one came out and it's been so long since I read the Stormlight and there's like 4 books prior. I'm like, I'm just going to wait until the final one comes out this year in 2022 and then just binge read the whole 5 because some of those plot points and big story arcs like that are in early books and I'm just like,
yeah. I guess another one that I really want to go back to is it's a series that's probably 10, 15 years old maybe. It's called In the Name of the Wind. So fucking hurry up and finish it.
Just write that down too.
Jesus.
Where the hell is that book?
that would be his answer if he was
Yeah. What have I abandoned?
Yeah.
Writing the last book of Game of Thrones, writing the last book of
There's more here that I'd love to go back and finish, but I doubt I ever will.
like what?
Are you ready?
Yep.
The Expanse.
Okay.
I started that.
Invincible.
What?
Yep. I started, couldn't get and it's not
man.
because I don't want to. It's time at the machine when
Yeah.
no one else wants me to watch something else with them. Titans. I'm into the recent series. I started it. I got through the first episode. I want to keep watching it. I don't know when I will. Lock and Key. Right, the new season, and it's just started to get really good with,
Did you just check your Netflix recently watched list?
No, not recently watched list.
Like, I'll go back. Yes.
Continue watching
Haven't
it.
finished that. No, because it disappears after you've watched it. So,
No, continue watching.
To
stays
continue
mid-season.
watching stays there, and there's a whole heap in my list of, yeah. And then there's all those movies that I fell asleep through that I should go back and watch the end of.
yeah, I can't do that. I have to watch the end of a movie. Even if it's rubbish, I have to watch the end of a movie. I have
Even
to
like
get closure.
Hawkeye, I was like, what happened? When did Kingpin come? Oh, sorry. Sorry, people.
Jesus.
But it's been 2 months now. You should have watched that
No,
thing.
there's still a spoiler alert when it comes to that.
You got any more, Justin?
My world is full of unfinished things. It's hard
Well
for me to
played.
say. I'm not sure what I've started and what I haven't at this. I do have a lot of pots on the boil, I guess, as they say, but there's not anything, I guess, that I have actually got to a point where I'm like, I have to start this again, kind of like the Magicians. Everything else I've burbled along and I know enough of, and I can jump back in and not worry too much about it. But a bit of time's gone past for a few things. Supernatural. Wait, that just came to mind. Never finished Supernatural.
Yep.
It's too hard to go back to now because those early episodes are so episodic. Before you get into the season arching stories that was a 10-year. That's 10 series worth of it. One day I intend on going back to
I might
that.
add that to my...
I'd do that with you. I'd never watched I dipped in every now and then, but never really got my head around it.
Yeah, early on it was very Monster of the Week, kind of like the Buffy and the Angels and stuff.
I kind of got a bit over it when it got to... I stopped. I didn't stop. I lost it when it was started doing, Angel and Hell and Earth and Apocalypse and stuff. So
yeah, maybe Supernatural's probably on the top of my list of things I should have watched, but I haven't.
Dear Ma, it's only been a week since my last letter to you, but it feels like it's been a full year. I've joined the watch and I've attached in some of my wages. I've raised enough money to get home once I figure out how to deal with this Jameson situation. Being a member of the watch in a big city is not what I expected. I have seen things. I've killed people. Teardrops mark the page. And I've watched friends die. I don't think you'd recognize me as the boy I once was. I don't think I recognize myself. It's not all bad though, Ma. I feel like I'm making a difference in this town. I hope Seamus is working hard on the farm and give my love to him and Keely. Hope to see you soon. Love, Miles.
That's very nice.
Why would Miles write teardrops on the page?
Because he's a big Womack and Womack fan.
That wasn't in the accent. That means it was
Gotcha.
An aside, in brackets.
Yeah.
It was a stage direction.
Yeah, stage direction.
So
Miles enters from the left.
we're back to the
That's
date.
what
So
interesting statement you had in that letter, which was, you might not see me as the boy I once was, that Miles feels like he's grown up.
Not necessarily for the better, but I guess not for the better is right. Yes, he feels like he's grown up. He feels like he's lost some of his innocence.
Do you think he was a boy when he was in that sack being dragged behind the horse when we first met him?
He was very naive back then. Like, that was the biggest thing that had ever happened to him. Seems pretty tame in comparison.
Yeah, right.
it was pretty traumatic being
At the
dragged at the
time.
back of a horse with a sack over your head.
He has now seen some shit.
Yeah, but he was about to get strung up.
Yeah, that's true. Do we need to go back to the last fight in the slaughterhouse?
Well, yeah, that would have been a sight to behold.
That was that was when he wrote this letter. And he talks about it in that letter, that the whole Jameson thing is just a situation he needs to figure out how to deal with now, rather than the first letter, which was a lot more.
What's the Jameson situation?
That was the guy that
the other-
drove him out of town.
The ones that were dragging him on the horse, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that whole situation. I'd totally forgot about that.
Yeah, the situation you wrote, right?
Yeah, I totally forgot that
Big
was.
arc that's going to have a really big impact
I
at the end
forgot
of
that
this
that
thing.
wasn't even a thing. I was like, oh no, they're done.
And the other thing I think is interesting is he still plans on getting home.
Yeah. I think
does.
his connection back to home, I think, totally opposite of Flopsy, who's moved on. Like, mum, dad, yep, I've moved out of there. I'm living my life. I've moved on. The real strong connection to home and family for Miles is quite apparent.
But now you're his family.
And he was about to become a man.
Actually, every time he keeps saying that, all I think of is Wayne's World, where Wayne turns around and goes, "Oh yeah, and this year, Garth finally got pubes."
We should have put that on his New Year's resolution list. So I bring you back into the present, into the time where Reg, Miles, and Flopsy stand on the streets, having the revelation that the night bloom flower is a sign of death, I guess, or a way of paying respects to the dead that people use on memorials or cemeteries. And I guess the last thing was that you had sent the squib off to go get Thunderback, and you yourselves were headed to the cemetery.
Now, as we are heading to the cemetery, I want to just do a couple of things. One, I'm casting Mage Armor.
You did that already?
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
drank
that was
the
a potion that only lasts an hour.
Right.
So depending on how long this takes, probably need to cast it because that lasts 3 hours.
Yep.
Mhm.
So guys, you realize that most likely we're walking into a trap now ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Reg,
It's going to be more Zabolds, I reckon.
yeah. I don't know.
Flopsy pats himself down. Yep, potions. Yes.
You got silver weapons,
No.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I got a silver short
werewolf,
sword. Yep.
silver. Shink, shink.
I don't, but I've got other things that should hurt.
Okay.
Fire normally does what it needs to do.
Just a point of interest, the dust knuckles, if I put silver dust in the knuckles, would that work on an animal susceptible to silver?
I'm not sure. It's only designed to blind someone.
Hey, if
isn't
I've
it?
watched
So-
anything of the Underworld, no, not Underworld, Blade.
Mhm.
Blade does silver dust bombs and
That's right. Hey.
I-
You breathe it in, it gets in
Yeah.
there.
It does seem very
like
expensive
asbestos.
to do diamond dust in there when talcum powder. It seems like it should do the trick.
Chalk,
What about-
even
Yeah.
sheer.
what
Yeah.
about all that crystalline
No,
dust?
diamond dust.
What about all that crystalline dust we got from that scorpion? That should
25
work.
GBP of
But
diamond
it's just
dust.
like the, it's bling. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah,
I'm walking
yeah,
around
okay.
with like these little bling knuckles.
Yeah, you don't want to walk around
Everyone's
with
trying
like
to-
talcum powder. Oh, baby hands. Reg's baby hands.
But in the minute of combat, you want to
His knuckles
stop
are
yourself
so
from
soft.
sweating. You got to get up a ladder real quick. You into your fists and off you go.
Oh, nice.
Is it
Like
like,
a gymnast bag.
is it like those Muay Thai guys that roll their gloves in broken
That's
glass?
Bloodsport.
Yeah. The kickboxer, wasn't it?
Kickboxer, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Or hot shots, pot you with the gummy bears and toffee. Yeah.
Yep. That was great.
You not seen that?
No.
Add that
He's
to your
obviously
series.
seen Kickboxer though. Yeah. So anyway, back on track. You guys do your preparations for heading to the cemetery. So you cast your defensive spells or whatever you need to, and I assume that most of those would get as you get closer to said cemetery. You walk up, and it is nighttime at this point. The eerie skeleton of a tree sits above the stone.
Skeleton, get it.
The stoneworked wrought iron fence that guards the cemetery at night, making things a little bit more eerie. The sky, as it's cleared because there is no more of the mist that comes in, is quite clear tonight, and the moon is high in the sky. It's almost a reddish color. Given that there is still some smog in the air, but it's turned a bit of a red, but it gives you a bit of a good vision throughout the cemetery as you walk up to the rusted iron gates, which are currently shut.
Do we want to go loud or quiet?
What are you asking me for? You want to be asking Flopsy. He's the one that drops bombs.
No, well, that's why I'm asking you.
I could go quiet. If we need to go quiet, I'll go quiet.
Well, I think we should probably go quiet, right?
I'm,
The element of surprise
It's
is a
not
fantastic
disturbed.
well,
weapon.
I'm just
dead.
pretty annoyed, and I'm happy to crack some skulls tonight. That's all.
I think he's got his temper up, as it were.
If you watch it, I haven't slept struck you tonight.
True.
We weren't meant to do anything today, so you guys are still open.
I'll do a quick perception check on the gates. Is it
Mhm.
trapped?
Okay.
Yeah, can we get a sense? I listen to see if there's any movement within the cemetery. How big is this cemetery?
It's massive.
Massive.
Yeah.
Can I see? Are we at dusk? It's nighttime, right?
It's nighttime.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nighttime.
Yeah. Cool.
Always nighttime.
Yeah, post dinner.
So I can see if I hear anything then.
Okay, just let's resolve Flopsy.
19 to see if the gates are trapped.
So you start examining the gates. The gates are rusty. There is a chain that is has locked the gates at night time to keep whatever's in and whatever's out. But there is a fairly simple padlock.
And to detect magic on that, would that ping anything?
Detect magic reveals nothing but mundane chain, mundane fence,
Yep.
rusty. Some of the hinges probably need some oil and maintenance. They are rusting a little bit. You think a bit of force might knock these gates off their hinges, but other than that, the gates are fairly rudimentary and normal. Reg, what was your perception? Just having a listen and a
With
feel of the
Miles's
area?
enraged breathing in my ear, I only got 13 on my perception.
Did you say Miles's engorged breathing?
Enraged.
Oh, enraged breathing. Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult because we are in the middle of a city as well. So there's city sounds. So this isn't like on the outskirts of the city. This is in the middle of one of the districts. So there still are city sounds around here. It's fenced off.
Flopsy, can you open the slock
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
now?
Stealthily, Flopsy wants to disable the lock on the...
Sure.
And don't be alarmed, but I think we should lock this behind us after we go in.
Oh, that's another check that I will need to do then. Do I need to do a stealth check? Or just a disabled device?
Disabled device.
It's a 19 on the disabled device.
Yep. Click open. So you open. It's a very, like I said, it's a very simple lock.
Through we go.
Mhm.
Quietly, stealthily.
Mm-hmm. Now, a couple of questions that I've got here. Flops, you're the only one that can see in the dark. So the other two of you, you got Tippy's light on?
Yep, Tippy will be doing lights.
Okay, so Tippy is a light source.
Tippy is going to do dancing lights.
Okay.
She's leveled up. Instead of casting, just having Tippy glow, I'm going to have 2 orbs circling around us in a bit of a larger radius.
Okay,
So wouldn't the cemetery have like groundsmen?
it would, yeah.
And are people not normally allowed in the cemetery at night time then?
No.
So there wouldn't be any lights lit by the groundsman or anything like
No,
that?
no. Cemetery looks like it's shut, hence the gate, and it's chained up. And generally, I guess in a world like this, you probably don't want people coming into the cemetery at night time. You don't know what will happen. Necromancers, ghouls, ghosts, all that kind of stuff.
What's the moon doing tonight?
The moon is shining, right?
Low light vision, or can we walk by moonlight?
You can walk. It certainly gives you enough light to maneuver around, but not enough light to see by accurately, if that makes sense. You're not going to trip over anything, but you're certainly not going to be combat ready.
Gentlemen, badges in the bag.
What?
I think he's worried about us being ensorcelled because of our badges.
Well, we
like-
got that thing now, right?
How do we know there's not another one?
I thought he was, we're not the watch tonight. We're here to avenge my
We're all
my failed love life.
We're in black onesies, right?
I just wonder if we're going stealthily, whether these lights are undermining the
Then we can't see.
usefulness of that.
Maybe instead of making hot pockets that heat themselves, you should make us like glasses that can see in the dark.
Doesn't sound like they're very useful. Hot pockets that heat themselves sounds ultimately more useful.
There's a market for that.
Yeah.
It certainly is.
What if I go 20, 30 feet ahead so you can just see me as a shadow up there and then I can just do a little scouty scout?
Reggie's not comfortable with you being 30 feet ahead.
No, let's just.
I will be right behind you.
If we get seen, we get seen. Let's go.
Okay, well, then I will stop making stealth checks.
Shall we lock this gate in
You can
case
do it
there's a.
stealthily. Have you got any feeling in your tail?
That's a very personal question.
Now's not the time, Reggie.
I'm just going to hold on to it so that you realise it, so I know exactly where you are.
Now, I'm just worried if there is a horde of undead in here and we leave this gate open.
Then we'll lock it up. I'll re-able device.
I think we should.
Oh, hello.
You take a 20 on that?
24 to reset the lock on
Yeah,
the front
perfect.
gate.
Yep.
Off we go.
I also just grabbed my old watch insignia, not the new one, but the old one, and I just tie it around the gate so that if Thundercrack comes, he knows that we're here.
Mhm.
Like a banner or something. Like a
Okay. Yep.
handkerchief, whatever. Something like that.
Your underwear.
I took it off anyway before I went on my date. Didn't need it.
Gross.
Flopsy's going to pull a scroll and cast Mage Armor. That'll give him coverage for 2 hours.
What's the plan of attack here? So you cast all your defensive spells, you put all your buffs up, all the things that you need to cast. I guess you've taken your long-term spells, your 10 minutes, whatever, per level instead of rounds per level. What are you doing?
We're going to walk in a clockwise perimeter and then
Perception
inside.
checks.
Are you? Is there anywhere that you're going to look first, or have you got a plan here? Are you just going to wander around aimlessly, concentric
Okay.
circles, that kind of stuff? What's the plan?
I have a plan. I pull out swift action, monster summoning out one of my wrist sheaths. Catch it. I cast a dog. Summon a dog. And I go, look for goblin. Smell for goblin. Scent check. I don't know. Track goblin.
There you go. Track goblin. I like that. That's
Track goblin.
Track goblin.
I'm not sure you can just go track goblin. Do you have a piece of clothing, some type of scent that the dog needs to track?
Could smell the flower.
Good idea, Flopsy.
Mhm.
Track flower.
I'm just going to warn you against that because these
Dog's
are
gonna go in circles.
everywhere.
Oh.
This is like what you bring to a cemetery is these flowers. And, because at nighttime they bloom. They look nice at night.
For no one.
Fine bones. I don't know.
The dog immediately starts digging.
Fuck off. Let the dog. The dog only lasts 6 seconds anyway, so it was going to be a long
I
shot.
thought it was a minute.
No?
Oh, it's only a round per level.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Flopsy's going to look for tracks inside that front gate. And
Mhm.
I'm going to suggest we do a perimeter and look for wolf tracks or goblin tracks.
Wolf
way in.
and or goblin.
Well, let's look for tracks.
Yep,
hey?
yep. Sounds good.
All
Perception.
right. So your plan, I guess, is just to sort of is there a specific way around the cemetery? Like, are you going to start around the walls and move inwards? Are you going to start on the inwards and move outwards? Are you going to go to the older part of the cemetery where the mausoleums are? Are you going to go to the newer part of the cemetery? Are you going to go to the wall where the cremated people are being put, or are you going to go, that kind of stuff? I guess that's where, rather than just sort of wander around, because looking for tracks in the main thoroughfare, you're going to find some, but they're not going to be very specific.
Flopsy's suggesting we do a perimeter search, make sure that this is the only way in or out, and that if there are tracks on the perimeter anywhere, someone might have jumped the fence to come in. If they're goblin or wolf tracks, maybe that'll give us some hints.
Cool.
Also give us a sense of the perimeter of this place so we can kind of hone in from there.
All right. So you start walking around clockwise, anti-clockwise.
Absolutely. Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise, you start moving around the perimeter of the cemetery. There are 3 gates into the cemetery, all of which are locked up. And you move, like, the older part of the cemetery is up on the hill where the mausoleums are. Then the newer part of the cemetery obviously is moved outwards from there, sort of moving downwards. There are whole areas of the cemetery where there is nothing. There are clear, big plots of land, trees that have been planted, all that kind of stuff that have dropped their leaves everywhere. It's quite pretty in places. There are other places that are just grave marks and a big pit where they just throw all the goblins in.
Now, he's going to 100% be in one of those mausoleums, isn't he?
I've no idea. What I'm looking for is tracks on the way in. If there's, he was out, he must have come in if he's in here.
Mm-hmm. Just make a perception check as you're walking around.
13.
What did you get, Reg?
Oh, no.
25.
Oh, there we go. I got 12.
The irony of this is that Reg, of all of you who is closest to the ground, notices that on top of one of the 15-foot high walls, that some of the wrought iron has been bent.
I'm just
As
used to
if
looking up. That's
Somebody
why.
has scaled the wall, or somebody has moved. So like an egress point, definitely. And even as you're looking a little closer, Reg, you can see there's scuff marks as if people have used this to jump over and scale. And there's like a landing, where the dirt has been compacted into the ground.
Is there any
at the
tracks
base of
leading
this.
off from that landing bit?
Just make me another perception check. All of you can do this if you want.
24.
Oh, that's enough to notice that the tracks lead further into where the mausoleums are.
Okay.
I think you're right, Miles. Mausoleums it is.
Well, it's the only place they can hide in the daytime and not be seen if this is their base of operations.
Well done. Yes, my thinking exactly.
Let's roll.
Can you follow those tracks in so we don't have to search every bloody mausoleum? Can we go to where they are?
I'll try.
Yeah, let me have a look too.
Yeah.
18 on a survival.
Mm-hmm.
9.
21 on survival.
Oh, that's not so bad.
I got a little bit of that.
Got
19.
a little bit. And I'm looking exactly for the stem with which this bloom has been ripped off of.
Take 20s.
Not this one. Not this one. Is somebody whippersnippered today?
The tracks move into these compacted dirt paths and they move further into the cemetery until you get to an older, more paved area where you lose track of them. But by this time, you're walking around and you notice that some of these crypts or the people that have been here in the dates are from 100, 200 years ago. So this is definitely an older part of this cemetery.
There's going to be some dead people around here. Long dead.
Undead.
Smells stale.
Can we follow the path and look for a door that may have been tampered or, an entryway
Yeah, sure.
that may have been tampered
Sure.
with?
So you continue moving along the pathway. Just make me another perception check, all of you.
18.
23.
Okay. And Flopsy?
14.
Oh, okay. Again, Miles and Reg, you would see this there. You're looking along. You're trying to look for tracks on the floor when you notice a drop of blood. Just a little splatter, as if something's fallen on the floor and splat on the floor.
Is it from my own nose? Because I've been so busy looking at the ground, I've walked into something?
No, you were looking at the sky a second ago. And then a couple of steps later, you find another drop of blood. And then a couple of steps later, you find another drop of blood. And you start following this this path or this little
blood trail.
You start following this blood trail along. And you eventually see that these blood drops get more frequent and closer together and more frequent and closer together. And even as you're walking along, the smell of blood in the air becomes quite palpable. Now, you know this smell because you've recently been in a slaughterhouse and you slaughtered a lot of people in there. And this is the smell of fresh blood that is there. And you move into an area that would be a series of mausoleums in a circle with a small garden in the middle. And you come across the macabre scene of children just put on top of iron fences, impaled, and you see their bodies moved in different areas, and you see them, ranging from 6 to say 12. There probably wouldn't be any older than that, and they're all small beings. And on the mausoleums, you can see somebody's written in blood, "Death to the watch, get the tieflings out of here, short people shouldn't be allowed."
Is this where we realise it's not children and it's actually halflings?
No, it is definitely children. But you would find 6 bodies of street urchins, I guess.
Tonight, obviously, because they would have been found if it was done through the day.
Do a heal check for me, please.
I would just like to apologise to Rachel, who, as heavily pregnant, will not like this.
I don't like this.
Nobody's supposed to
no
like
one
this.
likes it, but every time
14 on a heal check.
Some of them were killed recently. Some of them have been dead for a while. Whether they were killed here and laid here is probably, you probably get the idea that they've been brought here after a period, but none of the bodies are more than 2 days old.
I think he's left us a gift.
wish we had a flare.
You got
crocodile's hair.
It's more of a panache than a flare.
He's not liking us bringing him in peacefully with this kind of scene.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I'm going to just do a quick perception check just to make sure everything's okay. 17.
Looking around, trying to find clues. With the 17, you find the edge of a claw mark, and that's about what you see.
So I see no danger?
No, there's no...
No doors open, nothing like that?
No.
Gentlemen, I'm loath to stop what we're doing, but I'm also loath to leave these children.
Yeah, Miles is already starting to take them down.
Should we just lay them to it, or should we leave it here for
let's just remove them
investigative purposes?
No, let's just remove them from the spikes in case this is some sort of ritual thing, and
then lay them down. Okay. Yeah. And Flopsy will do his best to pick the kids up, but with his strength, he's struggling.
And I'll set Tippy to just kind of patrol overhead, doing constant perception checks for danger.
All right.
While we quickly remove all these.
Can you just give me a perception check for Tippy?
10. Fuck you, Tippy.
Miles, can you give me a perception check for yourself, please?
15.
Can you follow that with a will save?
Oh, shit. 13.
Miles, you are standing there and you're taking the children off, you're pulling them off the fence, and you're laying them on the floor and giving them a little bit of, giving them respect and laying them with the circumstance that needs to be, when all of a sudden in your head you hear, or you feel more than you hear, the idea of a friend, and you turn around and there, right, just sticking his head out of a mausoleum, almost through the actual closed door, you see a wolf's maw, kind of a goblin's head with a wolf's maw. It's a snarling canine kind of form, and it just looks at you and he says, "You're my friend. The people that you came, they will betray you." And then the head pops back out. And you feel nothing but this sense of overwhelming friendship and fellowship with the beast that's just spoken to you, as he sows the seed that perhaps the people around you are not as trustworthy as you may think.
Miles, I can't lift this child off. Can you help me?
Sense motive.
This one's quite stuck.
Why don't you get Reggie to help you?
He doesn't have the height, Miles. I just need to get this poor child off this barb.
Step back, I'll do it.
No problem.
I go over and take it off by keeping an eye on that shifty Tifo.
It is interesting, and you're walking around. It's really interesting that it's like TIFOs go home. Short people shouldn't be trusted. Death to the watch. Nothing there about humans. Mostly about like halflings and tieflings. And
In fact, all this trouble happened when I first met that bloody tiefling and the halfling on the road. It's all their fault.
We're just going to move back to where we came into the room, into the building.
Yep.
And facing into the building.
It's not a building. You're in a cemetery.
I thought we went into
courtyard.
It's like a little courtyard, like a circular
So
courtyard,
where we entered into the courtyard,
yep.
I'm going to stand in that space,
Yep.
looking into the courtyard, and I'm going to cast Detect Evil because I just want to do something.
Did you take a level of paladin now?
No, I've got it on my spell list. Eh? And I was prepared this one. Right?
Okay, tell me what Detect Evil does.
Oh, just a cone shape, just detecting evil. Get a sense if there's anything evil.
Just a cone shape.
Just a cone shaped, yeah. That's why I went back to the entrance bit. So I'm looking in. So I'm trying to get as much of the.
I wouldn't trust him. He never reads any rules.
No, I'm hoping I can get it to fly.
Damn halfies.
I read half the spell list, not the last line ever.
Just want to do something on my spell list other than heal. That would just be nice.
Because we're not
Doesn't
gonna
have
need
to
the
do
healing
anything. No, we
today.
won't be fine. Got plenty of wands. It's fine. Justin's just checking if the creature has actual evil.
I think he's reading the spell.
Incidentally, I was going to do this before you did your whole the wolf's head pops out and does some funky shit to
Sure you
Lindsay.
were.
Of course I was.
Sure you were.
I was
That's
already
exactly what a
I was
halfie would say.
already looking at the spell list before he did it.
Reg, there is an evil aura to this area. There is definitely the presence. So in the first round that you do it, you feel an evil presence definitely in this area. It's faint, but it's here. Almost as if it's dissipated somewhat.
Okay, well, I'm going to remain where I am,
Mhm.
concentrating on that one, yeah?
Okay, so you concentrate a little bit more in the
Yeah.
second round.
Why don't you get back
think
to
that
work, halfie?
Perhaps there's one kind of evil aura that might have been around here very recently.
Mhm.
It's the aura lingers specifically around the children, and obviously setting them up like this in a macabre evil act as left an area here. But
This is
it's
why,
dim and dissipating.
Reg, this is why people write shit like this about small folk, because all you do is stand around, you don't do the work. Help get these kids off.
Yeah, Flopsy, I think it really did. Old Blue Balls here needs to sort something out, right?
We gave him the time.
I know, right?
I left the tissues and the lotion on the bench.
Puts the lotion in the basket.
He did just ask you to get these children off.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
This would be our most complained episode, right?
Or we've just found a new audience.
Oh, no.
Very committed.
We don't have stats for the dark web, Justin.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so I get a sense that whatever it was has moved on.
Yeah,
it's not really here. It's just lingering around the bodies.
There's
and-
no ping that is specific to it, but the act of putting these kids here was done by something evil, and that presence has lingered, and it was only one presence that
Okay.
you feel. So
we-
you know definitively it's only one thing that did all of this.
Okay, so we've already checked out how they're actually laid out. If there's any special configuration that have any meaning.
We just pulled them down in case it had meaning and would have removed the meaning from that.
Yeah,
Cool.
it looked pretty random, and just I think if there anything was staged, it was staged to look as bloody and gory and horrible as possible.
Okay, so we're looking to obviously get somebody to come in and collect these bodies at some point.
Oh, yeah, we'll go back and report this,
Yep.
of course, but I think there's more investigation to be done, right?
Yep.
Miles, anything else to be investigated here now these poor children are laid to rest?
No, I
Yes.
think this is all a bit of a ruse. I think we've been led here as time delaying tactic or something.
Really?
Well, you who said that we should come here, you said, oh, this is a flower from the... I'm starting to think this was you delaying us. Maybe this is your work.
Reggie's astonished with Miles's accurate impersonation of Flop.
It's quite, apart from the lack of hot pocket talk, quite the accurate representation. Miles, have I offended you?
I'm fine. Just
Come on, then, let's check out where this might lead to.
Yeah, let's keep looking around.
And I'll do a perception check, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise.
18, dark vision out to 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
19 for Reg.
5.
from Miles.
Too busy looking at us two,
Yeah.
worried about us.
I'm watching you guys.
You guys are moving around. Just in the way that you move, you tend to just separate a little bit. You're certainly not out of vision of each other as much as you would want. What did you get again, Reg?
19.
19. What was yours, Brett?
18.
18. Flopsy, you see a shadow move a little further away from the mausoleum. You see something small dart almost between one structure to another in the 10 to 15 foot space that's between them. Some shadow just goes and moves past it quickly, but it moves.
That way I've seen something, and he runs towards it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You move. Anyone else doing anything?
Reggie's going to apply this camel with the chain.
Yep.
It's feeling very unsettled.
Okay. Miles, at that this way, I've seen something. What do you do?
He probably just kind of looks around. He probably still thinks it's his mate, so he's not worried. Just looks around.
You can't trust that tiefling.
Yeah.
Brett, you run around the corner of the mausoleum. You get to the side and you are greeted by the smiling maw of a canine figure who is hiding right behind there. He looks at you with a deliciously delightful smile and says, "I've always wanted to taste a halfling." Oops.
But tiefling,
Shit. Fuck.
hold on.
This really ruins things when I'm a bad guy and I can't remember stuff. I've always wanted to taste a tiefling. I wonder if you're as hot on the inside as you are. That came out wrong.
Spicy.
Can I do that again? It's not going well. All this talk of Miles being on a date is not good. I've always wanted to taste the flesh of a tiefling. Perhaps there is more power in your bones and your heart and liver than I have felt before. And with that,
Wants to taste your bones.
There's more power in his bones than he's felt before.
We didn't do the bony check yet, did we?
Oh, it's coming.
okay.
That's what she said.
With that, his jaw opens, revealing rows of sharp, spindly teeth, and he attempts just to bite you, just to take a bite out of you with a 19. It's not flat-footed. You're not flat-footed, but he is definitely going to try and get your armor class.
He will get my armor class
in
at that
time.
point.
Even with the mage
You know
armor.
what? Because I remember rules, let's do this part first.
Should we do initiative?
Roll an initiative.
that'd be great.
Let's
That'd
see
be
which
great.
one
That'd be
actually
great.
gets first. I think it's me.
13.
It's me. And guess what I rolled? 14. Does a 19 hit you?
It does.
The more bites, taking a big chunk of flesh out of you, dealing 7 points of damage as he takes a chunk out of your forearm and looks back and, oh, it does taste good.
He's Indian.
I was going to say, he didn't start Indian, did he? This character.
Yes, he's always had
Did
an
he?
Indian. Yeah, because
Okay.
he was a goblin.
All right. All
I
goblins
did
sound
it
like that.
in the
No. I remember that. I remember in the session when you first did it. It didn't sound overly.
No,
Yeah.
I've tried to mellow the Indian
Okay,
because he's
cool.
not entirely
Cool.
a goblin.
That's why he likes spice.
Hot,
Let's
hot
come
like
back
a good
when he's-
curry. All right, you can go immediately after Flopsy. This big canine creature is standing in front of you. First things first, do you want to give me a roll to see whether or not you can identify this?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd love to.
Mm-hmm.
Arcana.
I would like knowledge planes, please.
Oh. Is that what Sandy makes?
There we go.
Oh. 18. If I could roll over a 10 on any of these knowledge checks, I would love it.
I don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think that's going to be. You know what? I'm going to be generous here.
Hang on, we've had enough contact with this kind
I
of
have
thing. to
intimate knowledge of
surely
him
know
now.
that it's a were creature, right? Or an Indian wolf.
Flopsy, you're looking at this and something in the back of your mind triggers. You believe that this creature is something called a Barghest. It's not a werewolf at all. What you do know about a Barghest is that they are an outside creature. They are feared in the folklore of people far and wide, especially in the more rural areas around where goblins live, because they are often found in goblin tribes with goblins worshipping them. They are evil outsiders. They have the ability to cast spells. The most important thing that you would probably want to know about them is that they have a chance, or they are renowned for being able to walk through walls. And what you would know is the blink special ability. So they have the ability to sort of half be on this plane and half be on some other plane.
Gentlemen, I think I found it. It's a Barghest. Could use some support?
What are you going to do?
So Reggie's going to run round.
Oh, no, does Flopsy's go still?
Oh, sorry.
Flopsy's going to withdraw back to his colleagues.
Mm-hmm. So Flopsy withdraws. You see Flopsy coming around the corner, double moving away from this creature. At the same time, the two of you can roll your initiative, please.
Flopsy will continue to tell them everything he knows about a Barghest. It's an old tiefling saying, never fight a Barghest on one's own when
20 for Miles.
20.
9 for Reg.
What the fuck can I do in a combat when charmed?
Okay, Miles, it's your go.
So I see him as a friend.
You see him as a friend.
I see them still as friends, but slightly untrustworthy.
Yes.
But I still probably wouldn't go as far out as attacking them.
No, that would be very out of the
But I
ordinary
also
for
wouldn't
you.
attack him.
Well, let me read to you exactly what the spell says, because you do definitely see him as friendly. Where are we?
I'll just misfortune you all until you all stop fighting.
So you have been charmed, which makes you regard this creature as a trusted friend and ally. So you are friendly towards this thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. It's just old Skeggsy. Just leave him alone.
What now?
You know, my old friend Skellsgig. I told you about him the other day. Just leave him alone. Don't do anything dodgy. Don't make me sleep strike you.
Okay, after you then.
We're here to talk, Skellsgig.
He just ripped these big holes in my body.
He's probably just trying to
Pretty
give you a
sure
cuddle.
he's responsible for all the corpses here.
We don't know that. Now, as members of the Watch, it is our
I
job.
can tell you for certain
to-
he just bit me for what feels like half my health.
So you say, do you have any witnesses?
I walked around
Innocent
that corner.
until proven guilty.
No bite marks. I came back 6 seconds later, bite marks.
All I am saying is innocent until proven guilty.
Okay, so at least can we agree though, Miles, that we could apprehend him?
We can have a chat.
Has he come around the corner yet?
No.
And that's my turn.
Okay, that's your turn.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm
Yes.
trying to calm everyone down.
Flopsy, you've moved into this area. What are you doing?
Stunned disbelief.
I assume the lights are in this area because of dancing lights.
I'm wondering
around.
where Skellsgig is because he should have chased me by now. And pulling a potion and drinking it.
Okay. You pull out a potion. Does your wounds knit back together somewhat?
They do.
Okay. What about you, Reg? What are you going to do?
I'm going to move up by Flopsy.
Okay.
Make sure he's all right.
All right. So you move up to Flopsy.
Yep. And hang on. How's that much move? Was that? How far?
Not far. So
Okay,
you've still got to. You've
I
still
can ready an
definitely got a
action.
standard
No,
action.
already
left.
already an action. And as soon as he steps out, hang on. Is he going to be here, Flopsy? Is he going to be on 4 legs or 2?
Big teeth. Bite. Ouch.
Okay.
Gulp.
Miles, it's your go.
Look, let's all just calm down. First one who attacks anyone is getting sleep striked, okay?
He just attacked me, Miles.
I did not see it. I'm saying I'm going to play the mediator here. Skellsgig, if you're listening, come out and we'll have a chat. First one to attack anyone that I see gets sleep striked. How about that? Perfectly fair. Yes, everyone agrees?
Are
Good.
we-
I ready an attack to sleep strike the first person that attacks any of either me or... Yeah. Anyway, first person who attacks gets sleep struck. That's the action I ready. You never like my friends.
Loping around the corner of the mausoleum, you see a big black shape of a wolf creature with large claws, big vicious teeth, red glowing eyes. It comes into the light, basically staying about 30 feet away from all of you. And you each need to make a will save as an aura exudes from this, a burst, if you will.
First question, does that count as
Attack.
an attack?
I don't believe it does because it's an enchantment spell, first and foremost, and it's not anything that does damage or anything. It's just a burst that comes from this creature that is intended to cause
Does it
despair.
any attack by your apparent allies that threatens?
Mhm.
Well, 3.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything. He's walked out and he's gone boom. Miles, you feel a despair, a crushing despair come over you almost instantly. What did you get, Reg?
Is it, sorry, fear, did you say?
Will. It is it doesn't say that it's fear. It's a compulsion.
All right. So I don't get the +2 for fear then.
No.
All right. 23.
23. You're fine anyway. You save against it. And for you, Flopsy?
Flopsy pulls some fruit out of his bag and squishes it between his hands. He has crushing despair as well.
Oh, God. I hate to see what he does.
I actually quite like that.
I hate to see what he does when he's deep in despair.
So we're all, oh God.
What does despair do, mate?
Okay. The two of you find yourselves filled with a despair and sadness. It's not a fear, it's a sadness that comes across you. Maybe to do with the children, to do with where you are in the cemetery. Each affected creature takes a -2 on basically all your D20 and damage rolls. Attack, saves, ability checks, skill checks, weapon damage. -2 or all
Weapon
of
damage.
I miss my mum.
I wish mine was a D20.
it. Yeah. Flopsy, you're going. It's standing right there. It's moved up. It's well and truly, it's just 30 foot away from you. So just to give you an idea, because I know you're going to ask me 6,000 times what this looks like. Imagine a small 10-foot kind of circular garden. Inside that garden or around the edge of that garden is a wrought iron fence with trees and a nice little thing on the inside. That wrought iron fence is where the children were. Surrounding that garden is a 10-foot ring road with spokes that come off it, and then another 10-foot of garden is around those before mausoleums are all the way through. And there's 8 ring roads that come out of here. There's 8 mausoleums sort of sitting here,
Cool.
like a wagon wheel.
Flopsy's going to grab another potion off his belt and drink it,
Mhm.
and a magical shield shimmers around him.
Okay. And Reg,
So is this thing on 2 legs, 4 legs?
4 legs.
Shit. Okay.
Miles, that's the thing that bit me.
Yes, Girls King.
How far away is he? 30?
30 feet.
Why
I'll
don't
charge
you
at
like
it.
my friends?
Flying
Flopsy?
kick to the face
Sorry.
as I go in. I'm expecting this is going to be really cool because if he doesn't successfully sleep strike me, I'm fine. If he does, then I have this image of me flying through the air,
Falling
flying kick,
asleep
and then
in
just
the air.
landing on the. Can I do the attack first, or have you readied an action?
I readied an action.
Okay.
So you need to make a will save.
Does a 19 save?
You're fine.
Okay.
I love how this has devolved.
Excellent.
What do I need to actually get to pass that?
15.
Oh, gee, I just needed the 9 or more then. I need less than that.
All
Anyway,
right.
sorry,
So what
right.
are you doing, Reg?
So yeah, so I've run across, knowing that it's a 4-legged creature and tripping it's not going to be my forte at this moment in time in my skill set. I've just literally jumped. You see inside a garden, it's got a ringed fence around it.
He's moved up one of the spokes of the path. So he's standing on a pathway.
All right, so I'm literally just going to run, jump, and then just try and do a kick to the face.
Sure.
That was 1 away from a fumble. Okay,
Ooh.
so that will be unsuccessful. I'm not
Okay.
going to tell you. So I literally just pass his face
Mm-hmm. All right. So you go to kick his
and present.
face. You miss entirely and you land on the floor ninja style,
Yep.
but you are base
Full
to
turn-
base
yeah, yep, full turn
with
to face.
this creature.
Yep.
Miles, it is your go. You just saw Reg. You were holding your action for somebody. You just gone and cast a spell, which is your standard action.
Yep.
Okay. Which puts you at the bottom here because you were waiting for that. Are you going to do anything else with your move action?
Can I don't know if this will be a bull rush or something else, but I want to like push my way in between them and kind of like separate them. Like a kid trying to break up a fight.
All right, just make a CMD roll. It's more of a reposition, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
because
so.
you're trying to push it back.
Ooh, 19.
Reg, you have an attack of opportunity against this because you're not using anything. You're actually
I'll be
trained.
taking out. I'll be taking
CMB
out.
is 22.
22.
Yeah,
Okay. And is that with the -2s that you would have for
20.
All right. So your CMB is 20. That is not going to be anything that affects my character.
I'll get the attack of opportunity first, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can trip him with that, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I got a 19 on the attack of opportunity.
I will go down.
Okay, cool. Because otherwise I was going to be in trouble. And you'd reposition me, and I didn't want that.
Yeah. So you go down in the square next to Reg, which is, I guess, base to base with all of them.
Reggie, what are you doing?
What the hell are you doing?
I'm trying to stop you guys from fighting.
Stop
He hasn't
what?
done anything bad yet. Just let him
He's
go.
attacked Flopsy Man. What are you doing?
You just attacked him.
Just stay down, stay out of the way, or you're going to get hurt.
Oh, don't make me mad, Reg. Don't make me mad.
All right.
The blue is spreading from his balls.
I cannot wait to hear Miles cackle in this state. Crying cackle.
In a weird kind of twist of fate, the creature that looks like a canine looks at Miles, who is on the floor, and says to Miles, backs up a 5 foot, well, he would say this, and then as he's backing up a 5 foot step, and he would say, "Do you trust me, Miles?
I do.
Then accept this spell. I shall get you out of trouble from him." And he casts upon you. Do you allow him to cast a spell on you?
Yes.
This is all kinds of wrong, right?
Yeah. Just roll a charisma check for me, please.
We've got lots of that.
He's right up there on the charisma stakes.
2.
Okay. All right. So yes, he definitely is charismatic to you, and you still see him as a friend the way that he comes past. And that percentile check passes, so this works. All of a sudden, Reg, you see Miles start to float in the air as if he is being levitated. So he just starts to move up 20 feet into the sky, straight upwards, just moving straight up past you and out of your reach. And the creature would look at you and say, "You're out of his reach now and safe."
I don't feel very safe. How do I get down, Skellskick?
"I will get you down when the time is right.
You should run.
And the time will be right next time."
Oh, get out. There's going to be bombs a flying.
Seen things. I've killed people. Teardrop stuff. Shut up.
I've slept, people.
That got dark quick.
I've slept half the city.
Teardrops mark the page.
Let the poor boy have his moment.
And I have watched friends die. The ruined. Sincerity
sorry,
gone.
Sorry, go back.